In 1958-59, my wife Sona and I used to live in San Francisco. When we were there, Sona used to work for Bank of America, and at that branch there was an elderly gentleman who was a security guard. However, he was just inviting, welcoming people at the bank. When he finds out that Sona is an Armenian, he introduced himself as Armen Bazikyan. And after a long conversation, he said, "This Sunday, you and your husband come over to our house for breakfast." My wife said, "We go to church on Sunday." He said, "After church, come over." And that's what we did. After church, we went to their house, and Mr. and Mrs. Bazikyan, when they found out that my father was born in the same city as they were, Van, they kind of adopted us. At the same time that we were there, Mr. and Mrs. Tehlirian would come, and while the ladies were working in the kitchen, Mr. Tehlirian and Mr. Bazikyan used to play backgammon. Now, I have to say this. When I was growing up, Tehlirian was an idol for me. And here I am, in the same Gomide as Zavarian of San Francisco. We were together. In 1960, we came to Detroit. In Detroit, I used to work for video films, and we were making films for industrial sales, promotional, public relations, and TV commercials. We never thought of making a film about Tehlirian. Once in a while, we would remember our days in San Francisco. And in this around mid-70s, I said to Sona, I said, "You know, I'm a filmmaker. If I don't make a film on Tehlirian, shame on me." And we started making research, read a lot of books, materials related to the genocide. And we made a plan. Sona wrote the script, and I made storyboard with slides. We did that so we can show to people and raise funds for producing the film. When we finished and we made a presentation to a lot of people in Detroit, a lot of people were interested, but some of them were gun shy because they said, United States government will not let you produce this film because as they stopped MGM to produce 40 Days of Musadagh. Well, times have changed. And then we thought that we have to go to other cities and get some funding, more funding. A good family friend of ours, George and Huri Kalibjant, stayed with them, and Hurik was very instrumental in promoting this project. They invited very influential people for lunch so I could make the presentation. One of the people were Dr. Michael Hagopian. Michael Hagopian was the founder and chairman of Armenian Film Foundation. Well, Michael Hagopian had played a big role in my life. When I was growing up in Beirut, in 1950s, he used to come to make documentaries, and I always accompanied him every place as assistant cameraman, helping him out. So he and I were knew each other very well. When he saw the plan, he said, Hrayr, you know what? You have to go to Beirut. And I did. I went to Beirut, I went to Jemara, and I talked to Dr. Dr. Hrayr Dasnabedian. And Dr. Hrayr Dasnabedian loved the idea. He said, Hrayr, you have to go to Tehran and talk to very influential people there. And I did. I went to Tehran. He gave me a letter of recommendation, and I saw a lot of people. They were very cordial. There was an elderly gentleman. He wasn't necessarily interested in funding the project, but he said, you know, you have to go and see our Pesa in Berlin. And always his Pesa, it's Zakarian. Zakarian and another person were the translators at the court proceeding. I changed my mind. I did not come to Detroit. I went to Berlin. I called Zakarian, and he invited me to dinner. I went there. He was a person over 90 years old. He had almost forgotten everything. But when I showed him our plan and our slides, he started remembering things. And he said, you know, Dr. Kolning, the prosecuting attorney at the trial, and I were very good friends. He and I used to go for a walk every morning in the park. And one time he said, you know, he said, Solomon Tehlirian should get out free. Even though he asked for death penalty in the trial. Well, he knew very well that there was a way of getting him out. And Dr. Van Gordon, was hired to defend Solomon Tehlirian. It was Van Gordon's law company was the best in Berlin. I came to Detroit and we started filming the project. We called it Assignment Berlin. Assignment Berlin had a very good reception here in Detroit. The mayor of the town, the governor of the Michigan, they were honorary co-chair at the opening, at the premiere of the film. At the end, the governor made a presentation of a declaration. I don't think there is any film in the world that had a declaration from a governor. Assignment Berlin did. There were a lot of firsts in this. First and foremost, there is nobody in the world at this point that has seen and talked to Solomon Tehlirian than I was. All the people who are writing books, they haven't seen Solomon Tehlirian. The only other person, Dr. Markarian, Hrayr Markarian, was the one. Hrayr Markarian is a genius. He is a writer, a poet, an editor, an outstanding theater presenter, and he went to California and he presented his idea to Mrs. Tehlirian, and Anahit liked it very much. At this point, I think I would end up my presentation. Have a good time. Thank you very much.